I'm not gonna make you sit through this whole video to get the answer to the question, which is the best DJ controller for beginners. So here it is up front. I can't tell you which DJ controller to buy. Nobody on this platform can. But in about a minute, you're gonna find out why that's actually the best news you've heard all week. In this video, I'll give you the 3 questions that actually help you decide which is the best controller for you if you're a beginner DJ or curious about DJing, or you're a vinyl DJ who wants another option rather than hauling gear and records everywhere. I'm going to tell you about the controller I was dead certain about and then sold. And because I know some of you clicked for names and I'm not going to leave you hanging, I'll tell you my picks at the end. But if you skip ahead and just buy what someone else told you, you're going to end up exactly where I ended up. So let's start with the first question I want you to ask yourself. What kind of DJ do you actually want to be? Not the fantasy version, not you at Coachella. I mean, when you close your eyes and you picture yourself DJing in the next year, where are you and what type of music are you playing? There are no wrong answers, but they can all point to different gear. Are you in your bedroom, learning this just for you with nobody watching? Are you live streaming from a home studio setup, my preferred way of DJing? Are you in a bar on a Friday night? Are you doing weddings in corporate, which is actually really good money? Do you aspire to be on the festival circuit? Those are 5 different types of DJs, and they don't all necessarily buy the same beginner controller. And then the second half of that question is, what type of music are you playing? Because if you're playing house or techno, you might have 2 channels forever and be perfectly happy. If you're playing hip hop, you care about the jog wheels, how they feel, and whether the pads are any good because you're going to be cutting and juggling on them. And if you're open format, or weddings, or top 40, anything where someone is going to request a song from 1997 in the middle of your set, you're probably going to want a laptop with a big library rather than standalone. Now, I never asked myself these questions. I didn't know what I didn't know. I mean, I was making Beats Gene MK3, which I love and still use to this day, when I decided I wanted to learn how to DJ. So my strategy was to stay in the instruments family. So I bought a Tractor Control S2. I chose a brand, not a job, and I think that's what a lot of beginners do. They might get sucked right into the Pioneer Alpha Theta ecosystem without even considering these questions or other brands. And no, I wouldn't recommend Tractor for a beginner controller for multiple reasons that we aren't going to get into right now, but I'll tell you in a little bit what I got next. And that brings us to question number 2, and it seems simple. What can you actually afford? Now that number might change depending on why you want it and what type of DJ you want to be. And this is where I think you should start thinking about gear as an investment. See, I didn't know any better when I bought my Tractor controller, and when I sold it a few months later, I really regretted the time and money I'd lost. Now, if you're just curious and you're not even sure you like DJing yet, buy a beginner controller for the absolute least amount you can. There are 2-channel controllers under $300 that will teach you all the skills you'll need so you can decide if you even like DJing. And a lot of them come with the software included, or at least a light version, so you can find out if this is your thing without gambling your whole paycheck on it. But if you want to make money doing this, invest accordingly, because muscle memory is real and it doesn't transfer as easily as you'd hope. If you want to play at clubs, at some point you're going to walk into a booth with CDJs in it, and no one is going to stand around waiting while you figure out how to load a track. So Alpha Theta and the record box layout and ecosystem kind of matters. Not because it's better, because it's what's in a lot of clubs. And whatever you decide, remember, the controller isn't the whole number. You need the headphones, the speakers, the cables, the music. Do the whole DJ math before you decide what you can afford. But money is the easy question, because at least you know your number. Question 3 is the one I got completely wrong, and it's the actual reason that S2 never got used the right way. This question is tricky because it's a 2-parter. First, how much time are you actually willing to put into learning this? And do you want it badly enough to keep showing up when it's not fun yet? Because you're learning 2 things at once here. There's the software, and every DJ software has a learning curve, and some of those are way steeper than the marketing makes them look. I just made a video ranking 5 of the most popular DJ softwares if you want to check that out. And then there's the controller itself, the pads, the performance modes, what all the knobs actually do, and how they can enhance your DJ sets. You can own a controller for a year and still have features you never even explored. Ask me how I know. When I was learning the S2, I remember feeling so overwhelmed by Tractor and looking at that screen and feeling like I'd walked into a class that had started 3 weeks ago without me. And I mean, I eventually learned the bare minimum, like enough to mix 2 tracks together, but that controller and software could have done so much more. And I know because the Tractor fanboys tell me in my comments all the time. I was using maybe a third of it, and every time I sat down with it, I felt behind. So eventually, I just stopped trying to learn it. And for a long time, I told myself that was a me problem. It wasn't. I mean, maybe a little bit. But I just didn't have a good enough reason to push through the hardest part, the learning curve. So, again, I ask you, how much time are you willing to give this? And how badly do you actually want it? Because what all of these "this is the best DJ controller" videos are missing is the truth that it's probably going to be challenging. All new things are hard. And I don't say this to discourage you. I just want to be your YouTube auntie and tell you that you're going to need the passion and the drive and the time to push through. For me, I had the time, but what I didn't have was a reason or the desire, because I still hadn't figured out what I actually wanted DJing. And what I wanted back then was to DJ away from my house, away from the desk, and I didn't want to haul a bunch of stuff around to do that. I just didn't know any of that yet when I was standing there with my credit card out. I never asked myself, and nobody could have told me that. Not a review, not a comment section, and not a video like this one. I had to buy the wrong thing and sit with it for months before I could hear myself say what I actually wanted. So what I got next was the Denon Prime Go. Standalone, so no laptop, super small, runs on a battery, which is the entire reason I picked it, because I could play anywhere. And I did. And the learning curve on that was still challenging, but the difference was I wanted what was waiting on the other side of it. So I got through it, and learning it didn't feel like a chore because I was so psyched to go out and do mobile sets. So if you answer these 3 questions honestly, I promise you'll get more clarity. But no, I won't tell you what to buy. No one can, because only you know your answers. What I can tell you is to go watch this video where I break down 7 of the most popular beginner controllers and tell you which kind of DJ each one is for.